We are just one day away from Halloween, and an author formerly of Greater Sudbury is making waves in the horror and speculative fiction genre. Mark Leslie was born and raised in Onaping Falls and now lives in Kitchener. That's where he joins us. Hi there, as always, Mark.
Hey, how you doing, Tony? Always great to be home, sort of.
That's true, yes. You have a new short story collection, One Hand Screaming. Tell us about that.
So this is a collection of stories that are more like, I guess, Twilight Zone meets Black Mirror, more eerie, atmospheric, dark humor collection of stories. And it's actually, the subtitle is called 20 Haunting Years because this October is the 20th anniversary of the original version of the book's first release. And it was half the size because I had only been publishing for 20 years. I realized, Tony, I had actually got my start submitting to a radio contest in Sudbury at the age of 15 in 1984. I've been writing for 40 years, but this book is a celebration of the 20th anniversary of my first book.
So what have you learned over 40 years of writing?
Well, that, you know, when you're a writer, you need to have another job. No, I mean, that's one of the other things is, it's I mean, I have 35 books out now, so you make a little bit of money off of every book. But one of the things that I've learned is I am so lucky that I get to do this for a living. I get to make up stories and also research stories, you know, like true haunted locations in Sudbury and other locations.
Tell us about spooky stories from the Sudbury region. You said you love writing about, horror and fiction.
Yeah, so it was so fascinating when I co-authored Spooky Sudbury many years ago with Jenny Jellin, who was a newspaper reporter in Sudbury at the time. It was so great to be able to go back to, the haunted level 2450 of Levack Mine, where I grew up in Levack, to look at the Bell Mansion, a beautiful, beautiful sort of museum historical piece from Sudbury, and hear about the eerie stories of the singing that's sometimes heard at night, or sometimes people seeing Mrs. Bell wandering around the facilities, learning the sad tale of the actor from the Sudbury Theatre Centre who never quite made it to the stage and continues to haunt the building to this day, and is sort of affectionately addressed by the patrons and the actors and all the people who work backstage. So there's so much richness and eeriness, but also it really grounds you in terms of understanding there's so many wonderful, beautiful elements to our home.
How true. We have less than a minute left, so Halloween is, one day away. When you write these stories and you go explore these buildings and these cities, do you feel a chill down your spine at all, or do you see things that other people don't?
Every single time. I'm the world's biggest chicken, and I often think that writing these stories, it's like going on a roller coaster, right? You get that thrill, that rush, but then when you can sit down and write the story or close the book when it's done, the monsters can go away. You can tuck them away, and everyone is safe and sound.
Mark, it's always a pleasure. Thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Tony.
Mark Leslie was our guest, and for more on our author series, don't forget, go to our website, CTV News Northern Ontario.ca.